Welcome back, everybody. I'm the Dr. Bob Lee from 107.5 WBLS, and of course, BronxNet's open. We have another fantastic guest. Our next guest is a local filmmaker and artist who's the president and founder of Art Beyond Sight. Watch out. And they're here today to highlight the film, Straight Off the Canvas. Now, you know, when you think about that, you think about somebody getting up off of the canvas in a ring. But no, it's not that. So please welcome to the show, Anthony Saldana and Elisabeth Axel. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you so much for having us. Thank you. Thank you.
Anthony, you're no stranger to the show.
I'm not.
Elisabeth, thank you for joining us. And it's a pleasure meeting you. And we want to find out all about the wonderful things that you're doing to serve our community. Tell us about it.
Before we do, how are you doing, Dr. Bob? We're in a pandemic right now. How are you doing? That's the most important thing. We'll talk about the film. I will. I'm more focused on how are you, how's your family, how are you doing?
Well, everything's fine. So far, so good. And, you know, we're hanging in there. We continue to pray for everybody in our community, pray to keep ourselves safe, keep our community safe, and keep everybody around us safe. We keep telling people to continue to wear that mask, whether you get the vaccination or not. You know, the 3 W's: wear that mask, watch your distance, wash your hands. www. Wear that mask, watch your distance, and wear your mask. Wear your mask, watch your distance, and wash your hands. Just like that.
Well, congratulations on still being able to produce this show. I'm an alumnus of the show, and you know, I'm really happy that, you know, you guys are still able to be producing this show and creating great television, you know, because the Bronx community needs it.
Yeah.
So now
let's focus on you guys and what you guys are doing. Tell us about it.
I'll focus on that. So I produced a documentary called Straight Off the Canvas. This documentary has taken probably about a decade to make. I did a focus on the initial idea came about. It was motivated by me asking the question, how do blind people perceive art? And I got to meet a wonderful artist by the name of Elisabeth Castellano. And she was born visually impaired and had surgery later, you know, in her teenage years. Yeah. And she loved art. She's an amazing artist. And she went to college and she studied art as well as art education. And she became a teacher here in New York City. And I was going to film her in the classroom working in New York City. And unfortunately, life circumstances took a turn for the worse. And unfortunately, she had an accident causing her to retire. And that set the film, completely changed the film, because now I had to find another subject. And that led me to right here in the Bronx, the Lavelle School for the Blind here in the Bronx has an amazing program where they have an art teacher by the name of Jessica Jones. She herself is blind, and she's working with her blind students. And they not only are visually impaired, but they have cognitive issues, and she really works with them to have life skills through the artwork that they make. And the film also focuses on Art Beyond Sight, which is an amazing nonprofit organization here in New York City that's working to get museums accessible. And Elisabeth can tell you more about her wonderful nonprofit organization.
Tell us all about it, Elisabeth.
Well, it kind of brings together where we started with the pandemic and also with the film, because Anthony's film is coming out right now at a critical moment for our community, the disability community. So Art Beyond Sight, while we had begun as an organization that was focused on blind people, blind and visually impaired people, because I had been visually impaired myself, which is a whole Dr. Bob a different podcast. But now, as of about 10 years, we support people with disabilities of all different disabilities. So the disability community has been, like Black and Brown communities and some other minority communities, disproportionately impacted by COVID. We were the first in terms of being quarantined. We're the last out. And we're part of the communities that are just not thought about in terms of the recovery plans. The fact that Anthony documented pre-COVID what was going on in the arts, what was the level of art education for blind people in the schools, is really significant to us, Dr. Bob, because the arts are the first to go in schools. Yes. And when we look at a multiply marginalized community like the disability community, in many instances, then we are certainly the first to go in terms of funding.
Yeah, you know who's really, really good with it? And I don't know if you reached out to him. Maybe somebody should shoot a letter over to him. Stevie Wonder. Mm-hmm. Today's his birthday. Yes, he's celebrating his birthday around this time, but I remember being at a location with him, and he became friends with another person who had a disability. And afterwards, they went to the Apple store, and he purchased this person something that he can use to help him communicate a little bit better. And the guy he called me and tried to tell me all about it. And I said, wow, guess what? I was hanging out with Stevie Wonder, and he took me to the Apple store, and, he purchased it. We was buying equipment like crazy, and he taught me how to work and operate this thing so I could communicate better with people. So I think he would be a wonderful person to reach out to for, some assistance and maybe some funding, or however he
sounds great. And who else has been really helpful is in the Bronx, Congresswoman Ocasio-Cortez. She has a homework helpers program.
Oh, good, yes.
Reaching out to kids with disabilities in order to participate in the kinds of things that you see in Anthony's film.
Yes. All right, Anthony.
So, Public Advocate Jamani Williams and Nick Smith
yes.
from the Public Advocate's Office. They kick it. They're amazing. And so, again, what Anthony's documented, it's like, we'll get it back. Because
yes, all right. And also reach out to the United Federation of Teachers. They have a homework helper program also. Oh, yeah. You know about it, right? Yeah. And you're receiving a pension from them? You retired.
One day.
But that's great. We love the work that you guys are doing in the community, and all the work that you put together. You're documenting it, creating the awareness so others can find out what's going on. Mm-hmm. So where do we go from here?
Well, Dr. Bob, I think when you speak with Anthony about the kinds of things that he shows in the film, I'd love to share that with your audience.
Sure.
Because people think that blind people don't see in their mind's eye. And blind people, even congenitally blind people, that means born blind, are creative, and they, like, the capacities are just infinite. So I'd love to hear Anthony share some about that if we could.
Anthony, go right ahead.
Jessica Jones and Elisabeth Castellano are two very different women with two very different stories. Elisabeth, as I said before, was born visually impaired, and Jessica had sight, and lost her vision in adulthood. But to see both of their stories and how they're motivated by their love of art, and they want to share that with the world, and educate others, regardless of whether their student has a disability or not. I think that's one of a powerful message, because you know, Jessica mentions it in the film, that one of the most powerful things that she has as a teacher is when her blind student says, "Wait a minute, you're blind and you're like me and you teach art? Wow." And so I tried to show in the film how the healing power of art. I mentioned in the before that Elisabeth had to retire, and you know that really affected her. So we then go to her exhibition and show how she's creating this powerful paintings to heal from the loss of not being able to be in the classroom.
Yeah.
And so it's really just, where do we go from here? We just have to
Straight off the campus.
Yeah.
Straight off the
So,
canvas. That's where we're going. Straight off the canvas.
yeah.
Great what you guys are doing. Where can we see the film?
Well, it did premiere on BronxNet in February. I have plans, Dr. Ball. I have plans. One thing that I I can confirm now that we have secured a screening at the American Council for the Blind's convention this summer. They are having a convention in July, and we were able to secure a screening for the blind community throughout the entire country. And I'm not sure, you know, how, like, and what in other outside of US who's coming to this conference. So that's really exciting. And
is there a new way to watch a film? I mean, Elisabeth, you mentioned something about your mind's eye and how powerful that is, and people don't realize that you can see in your mind's eye. How would you take in this film?
Well, Anthony actually is writing audio description himself.
Got it. There you go.
For the film. And that's really unique also, because it's moving access forward. It's like a holistic kind of a way of approaching access, where we're seeing the vision of the filmmaker as he's describing the film, you know? So for a blind person, they're really gaining true access to the film because they're seeing it through Anthony's eye.
Yeah, I'm not hiring any writers. I'm not hiring an audio like a voiceover person. I'm doing the audio description myself. Like once this interview's over, I'm gonna go into, you know, I'm gonna go and write what I did for the film, so that I can get the audience to picture in their mind what's happening. You know?
Hey man, do your thing, man. We're going to send you over there to rock that right now. But thank you for joining us, and thank you for creating that awareness.
Thank
and
you.
Is there a website we can go to?
Well, I'm going to direct you right now to our Facebook and Twitter. We're still working on our website because I'm a one-man band, and
that's okay.
I'm working on it.
Wait, Twitter, you got Elisabeth. You're not a one-man band.
That's right. That's right. I'm a one-man band with Elisabeth, and we're gonna start from Bronx all the way to, you know, India, because we actually won an award in India, which is really good.
That's beautiful. Let the music play. Where do we go? Give us a social media.
So it's at Twitter is Straight Canvas, and then it's facebook.com/Straight Canvas.
There you go. Anthony Saldana and Elisabeth Axel, Straight Off the Canvas. Yes, indeed. Looking forward to seeing it, and come back with more information. We love your work. Thank you, guys. Elisabeth, love you
so much.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, Anthony. All right, we'll take a break right here. More Open on the way.